Welcome back to the channel of the Windsurf Coach. At this moment I'm on my way to Wijk aan Zee. Stop right here for a second. Before we head out to sea, I have some very exciting news to share with you guys. From now on I'll be working together with Vandenberg Snow and Surf in the Netherlands. It's the biggest shop in the Netherlands. They have 3 shops, one in Almere, one in Zandvoort aan Zee and one in Hoorn. So there's always one near to you if you live in the Netherlands. And if you normally buy online, you can buy online via vandenbergsurf.nl. I normally stick to my home spot, which is 5 minutes drive away from where I live. And that is a flat water spot surrounded by trees. It's a small lake, but it gives me lots of opportunities to go out on the water. Today the forecast is 40 knots, waves up to 3 meters high. At the car park I'm gonna meet stormchaser Edwin, and I want to find out what drives people like Edwin to go on these storm chases. When a storm hits and the waves get high, they drop everything else, drive for hours while their local spot is just a few minutes away. And that's what I normally do. I normally just go to my home spot, and I want to find out why do they do this? What is so special about it? And by the looks of it, he's not the only one. There we have stormchaser Edwin. He's gonna get his gear ready. You can see by his equipment that he's a real specialist. All custom made sails, booms, boards, special life-saving equipment. Really nice stuff. According to Edwin, one of the most important qualities of storm chasing equipment is that it must be bomb-proof, and besides that, as light as possible. Walking distance from the car park to the water is approximately 10 minutes, so I have to carry in one hand my board, in the other hand I have a package consisting of boom, sail, mast and extension. After being sandblasted for approximately 5 minutes, we finally reach the harder sand part just near the water, where we can rig without being sandblasted. I'm used to rig for power at my local lake, but Edwin checks my gear and says you need to trim for control, not power. So we lower the boom and increase the outhaul tension. I haven't been sailing at sea with 40 knots and waves of 3 meters high for decades, so I do feel a bit excited today. My choice for the day, a 70-liter wave cult from RRD and a 3.3 Gastra IQ. The weather looks amazing and the power of the wind and the waves make me feel alive. I might just be a little excited, but for Edwin this is just a walk in the park and he's gonna enjoy himself to the max, I'm sure of it, because he seems very relaxed. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that going through the breaking waves is still second nature, even though I haven't been doing this for quite a while. And I immediately understand why Edwin said it's more important to have control than power. I'm used to sailing with power, I like a lot of power from my sails, but in these conditions the control is so essential, and it makes it easier for me to navigate through the waves, so I can concentrate on trying to get some action shots of Edwin on the waves. Closer to the beach you'll have the breaking waves and the wind will be sheltered by the waves. This means you need a sail that gives you enough power to get you through the breaking section, but once you get to the outside the wind will be much stronger and you should still be able to control it. At my local lake the waves don't get higher than 50 centimeters, so 3 meters is huge for me. The further out we go, the higher the waves get, but Edwin is looking of course for steep ramps and the waves aren't that steep over here. So I keep following Edwin, hoping that he gets his perfect wave. That wave isn't steep enough, but hey, why not? It looks like Edwin is enjoying himself. So also for your first wave session, once you've built a bit of confidence on your way in, you can try to ride your first waves. If you want to ride your first wave, just wait for it, slow down a bit, let the wave catch up with you before you ride it and don't outrun it like I'm doing here. If you want to do your first session at sea, plan it carefully and don't go alone, as besides fun, it can be very dangerous. In the wind apps you can find not only the wind strength but also the height of the waves and the tides. For safety, pick a day with side to slightly onshore wind, with wind that isn't too strong but strong enough to get you onto the plane easily and well within your comfort zone. If you have the choice, choose a spot with the least amount of current. In that matter also your timing is important. Normally you find the least amount of current near the times when it's just high tide or just low tide. Normally half an hour before and after high or low tide will be perfect. Also pick waves that are not too high. I would say 1 meter, maximum 1.5 meters is more than enough to have some fun. On your way out it's just jumping paradise compared to your local lake. I'm slowly starting to get comfortable and am really enjoying myself. By the way, don't forget your safety items, for example a helmet, impact vest, life vest, a signaling device and if possible a way to communicate in case you have a problem and are stuck at sea. The forces of nature make you feel humble out here. I'm starting to understand why people like Edwin put everything else aside when the wind picks up and the wave forecast is good. You feel the raw power of nature and the landscape around you is always changing. There are really nice waves for jumping or wave riding. It's just basically one big playground for windsurfers. With this wind direction and the waves, it's pretty easy to track upwind when going back to the beach. And that's pretty convenient as you drift off quite a bit while you're trying to get through the breaking waves on your way out. As forecasted, the wind drops slightly, so it's time to head back to the beach and trim for more power. With the outhaul you can easily control the power of your sail. More outhaul tension, less power, less outhaul tension, more power. At the beach we meet one of Edwin's friends, Martijn de Man, who is a team rider for Nash but broke his board in the first minutes while trying to get through the breaking waves. So unfortunately for him it's end of the session already. Sailing at sea can be pretty rough on your equipment. Masts, sails, booms, boards easily get damaged in the waves. But hey, that's all part of the game. And that ever-present sense of danger from the high waves, the strong wind and the current gives you that adrenaline rush. In those side-on conditions it's relatively easy to go out. If possible, build up some speed in between the waves, and when trying to pass the waves, try to do it at an angle of approximately 90 degrees. If the wind is a little onshore, it means that you have to head up into the wave. After passing it, don't immediately put pressure on your fin, but first bear away a bit, as you still have a bit of white water, which will make you spin out if you put pressure on your fin. If you are confronted with some higher walls of white water, raise the nose to clear it. In the background you can see Edwin getting some air. I would have liked to get close to that to get a good angle on that one, but unfortunately I'm too far away. Out here in the back there's pretty much space in between the waves and it's relatively flat, so if you want to jibe, this is a good time to do it. The further out you go, the more swell you get and less breaking waves. So this is a good time to slow down and let Edwin catch up. So there he is, let's team up and have some more fun. In the distance you can see quite a few good waves, and that looks like a really nice one. That looks like some nice air. But do always bear in mind that you must be able to swim back to shore if you lose your gear anytime during your session. Don't panic. At moments like these you're really happy to be wearing that impact vest with a little flotation. Just swim towards your equipment at a pace you can feel you can maintain for an hour. Only make a little sprint if you know that you can get to your gear before the next wave pushes it away. Keep track of those waves behind you. You don't want to get out of breath, and take a deep breath before the next wave hits you, as it might push you under for a while. Be prepared for the fact that you might not be able to catch up with your gear and have to swim back all the way to shore. Once back at your equipment and back on the board, just sail back to shore and rest for a while before heading out, as it could happen again to you and you must be able to swim back all the way to the beach. The gear choice is very essential to making your first wave session a success. If you're used to sailing on freshwater lakes and now head out to sea, take into account that the density is higher, which means that you can use a smaller board and a smaller fin than you would normally do. A sail without cambers is easy to depower, which is great in the waves, and also an RDM mast is much stronger than SDM mast, so take an RDM mast with a wave sail for your first wave session. If you fall in the section where the waves are breaking, try to get up on your board as quickly as possible, but don't rush. I just came back from the beach and I must say this was really a spectacular part of windsurfing. I'm really stoked. Sailing in waves that were 3 meters high, in wind speeds of 35 to 40 knots. Unbelievable. I have a deep respect for all the storm chasers out there. What makes those guys go out? Now I know. I do hope you liked this video, and of course I'm really excited that I could share the news of working together with vandenbergsurf.nl, and trust me on this if I say that the most common mistake I see is that people use the wrong equipment for their goal. You will never reach your goal, or it will definitely hamper your progression if you've got the wrong equipment. So make sure you get some good advice from those people who know what they're talking about. In the Netherlands, I live pretty close to Vandenberg, Almere. That means that you can find me there every little now and then. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and of course don't forget to subscribe to the channel of the Windsurf Coach so you don't have to miss out on any of the action. Whether it be windsurfing, windfoiling or winging, you will find it on the channel. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. See you on the water.